The last section of your craft audit is looking at your website or your selling platform, whatever that happens to be. In the modern era, if you really want to improve sales, you need to have a website platform that's easy for people to order from. Whether that's an Etsy shop, a Shopify website, a different type of standalone website, you need to have some place to direct your customers. Trying to run a business and trying to navigate managing orders that people are sending you across inboxes on different social media platforms or texting you or whatever, it's just a recipe for stress. It makes it so much more work to secure a sale, and it really cuts into your overall profits because time is money. We always want to make sure that our business is as easy for people to support as possible. And that comes from having an e-commerce platform. So if you don't have one, make sure that you got one up and running. There are a lot of great options, a lot of different budgets that they can work for. And if you're doing a solid job on your marketing, everything else kind of falls into place in terms of sales. So, in the website audit, we're really bringing full circle a lot of the different points that were made in other sections of this audit, because this is where it should all kind of filter in, anyways, because this is where you're trying to get people to actually buy your product. So, our first question, of course, is do you even have a website? Pretty self explanatory there. Does your website have your logo, your brand colors, and an aesthetic that is part of your business? This is something that is easier for some than others. Like I said, the aesthetic thing really holds up a lot of people, and that's just about aligning your branding with your products to meet your target customer. So sometimes that means adjusting your branding, sometimes it means adjusting your products, kind of your discretion in terms of that. Your homepage where people land should immediately showcase the most popular products that you have or what's on special right now. If you have a rotating banner graphic, that's always great. You really want to make sure that that homepage immediately grabs your customer's attention. We do have that over here on Whole Heart Creative. When you land in, they've got this nice little collage. She's got a couple of little notes that she wanted to add, and then she has this collection that is here, which is just a couple of items, and you can click through on any of these to take you over. This can be rotating on her website, so we could change out and have it feed in different products here at any point in time. And that's a really good move if your business caters to products that go with different occasions and seasons. You want to be able to leverage that on the front of your website. And in fact, we have that with Of Love and Shiplap. If I just pull that up, you can see I have the same template as Allison. It just worked for what she was wanting. So my website does look similar to hers for that reason. But you can see, like, I have what's my current deals. This is everything that is listed for free. That's how I have this section set up. And then I have my Christmas collection because that's the time of year that we're heading into. And so this just showcases the most recent ones that I have here. And then these are the most recently ones added to my shop. And you can kind of change this out, however you want. That's how I have it set up. But this is just an easy way to showcase products right on your homepage. It doesn't matter whether you're selling digitals, blanks, or finished products. You want your customers to immediately see all that you have to offer and be intrigued and be like, oh, I'm going to scroll, I'm going to click through, I'm going to shop. That's one of the ways that we get them to stay on your website right away when they land. The longer time they spend on your website, the better it is for your search engine rankings. That's just something to keep in mind. Is your navigation and search bar function working? And do all of your key tabs exist? Are they easy for your customers to find? When you have a standalone shop or an Etsy shop, this isn't really an issue, right? Because we're building out our navigation bars to have that. We can see here on Allison's, she has a shop. She plans on integrating a blog. She's got information about retreats, her contact form. Customers can access their account and orders, and they can also check out. Everything's easy to find. The search function works great. Shopify is unfortunately a platform that I see quite a few issues with the search function. If your product keywords and SEO are not top notch, that's a major issue. You'll try and search something, you won't get the results in. It's very frustrating. Another issue I see a lot on Shopify Shopify shops is the way that the navigation bar is laid out is not as intuitive and easy to navigate, especially if you have a lot of different categories for your shop and you don't have that easy to access in your top. I don't think that this is an issue with Shopify. I think it's an issue with the way people set up their Shopify. I'm not sure if there's certain limitations because I don't use Shopify, but you really need to have a good navigation bar and make sure that search engine optimization on your individual product listings is all set up. Make sure that your product listing says what that product is, uses some type of keyword. Make sure there's a keyword in your metadata. That is all just really important to making your site easy to shop for your customers. If it's not easy to shop or they can't find what they're looking for, they're going to go shop someplace else. So don't skip this part. Do you have an email or text sign up option in the footer or a pop-up or prompt it at checkout? On my website for Of Love and Shiplap, I have the email sign up at checkout so that when people check out, they can check that little box that they want to be signed up. On Allison's, we did it on the footer, which is all the way down here. But because we're going to implement a lead magnet on her website here soon, we're going to make a pop-up here where it'll pop up on the screen and people can enter in their contact information to join the email list, and then they'll be able to get the free coupon code or the free resource, whatever it is that she's using as a lead magnet at the time. So that's something I'm going to be setting up with her as soon as she gets back to me about what kind of discount she wants to do and things like that. So you do want to have some way of getting people on your text or email list when they enter your website. You don't want to miss that opportunity of someone landing there and not being able to try and grab that lead. Because again, we want to make sure that we're getting people on those lists so we have a way to contact them outside of social media. Next, do your products have high quality photos or mock-ups? Now, don't get too in your head about this one. Product photography is hard. Okay, product photography takes a lot of work. Product photography is not the greatest for everyone just because of their geographic location and their ability to get really good sunlight or not. We as makers always want to just be working on getting a little bit better. So if you look at your product photos and overall they look really fake, like your mock-ups quality is not great because a lot of them look really fake, or they look really dim, or they're just really low quality, then that's something that you need to really address on your website, because how your products look is what attracts customers. Now, of course, people are going to still shop from you, even if your products don't have a cohesive aesthetic, even if they're not the most perfect products. You're not trying to be a department store, but you are trying to kind of find yourself somewhere in the middle where your products do stand out a little bit more, do look a little bit more professional in terms of the photos, and let that invite people in so that they view the value of your product. Everything about branding and marketing is really about portraying that value of your products, and we want that to come through on your website as well. Next, I ask again, would a stranger think your products look professional? Pretty self-explanatory. It's just like I said, you're looking to just get that input, to get that eye and be like, I should probably work on that. I know that for me, with Of Love and Shiplap, when I was going through this audit, because everyone should be doing these audits pretty regularly, I went through this audit and I was like, yeah, I really need to improve a lot of my older mock-ups. My older mock-ups are not great. I definitely need to go back and redo those. I also want to update just my general promotional graphics on my website. So that's another thing that I'm going to be changing little by little. I'm not in any rush to do this. You do not need to rush through changing your business. Doing the audit is just about giving you an idea of what your business needs to improve upon and how to get yourself to that point. Work on it little by little. I'll be working on the design thing probably for the next year. If I can do 1 or 2 a day where I just replace the main photos, that's going to make progress day in and day out. That's the goal. Do you have keywords incorporated into your metadata, product listing descriptions, and title? This is so important. Every product on your website should explain what it is. A mistake I see often, especially on Etsy, is that people create their product titles or their listing titles as just a string of keywords. And you don't want to do that. You want it to say like what it is and have the keywords. So out of Love and Shiplap, my products typically say um, whatever the design name is, whatever the words are in the design. That way when people go to search it, they're searching those words and it's going to come up for them. And then it says digital file for sublimation. That is so that people can clearly differentiate that this is the name of the product and then this is a keyword. Digital file for sublimation, that's a keyword phrase. In my meta description, in my product listings, I make sure to reiterate keyword phrases that are relevant to my product, and that's what you need to do as well. So if you sell graphic t-shirts, you should be using phrases like custom printed apparel, graphic t-shirts, funny personalized shirts, whatever's relevant to your product, you want to use that in your product description. Just having them peppered in, 3 or 4 between your title and the content of the listing really helps your search engine optimization, especially on platforms like Etsy. So don't skip on this because it's really just important for your business. Is shipping, processing, and return information easy to find? Again, you want to make sure this is easy for people so that they know and they can easily find that. If you're using Etsy, that information is usually easy to find in the sidebar. If you have a standalone website, you want to make sure that that is really listed with like every product, if you can, on its own special tab or somewhere in the footer where people can easily click and go to it and find the information. If you have lead magnets, are they being promoted? You want to make sure that that is a priority. Like I said before, when someone gets to your website, you want to make sure that you can capture them. You want to get that lead from them. Are your social media accounts linked on your website? Now, you don't need to have your social media feed. That's one thing that the Between the Covers shop, they have their whole Instagram feed down in the bottom, and it works for their aesthetic, but honestly, it's not as great on a website as it could be. It's definitely better just to have your links so that people can easily find you at the top of your page, bottom of your page, sidebar, something like that, so that people can easily be like, oh, yep, I can head over to your Pinterest, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever it is. Have you created branded receipts? A branded receipt is going to be one that has your logo and your brand colors. That way, when people place an order, that's what they get in their inbox. They know that that order came from your business, and it's easy for them to remember that, come back to that later. What you want to avoid is having an email receipt go to your customer that's just generic and doesn't really have your logo or anything on it. Because if someone wants to order from you again, when they go to your business or when they go to find that receipt, they may not immediately see the name of your business down at the bottom in little tiny writing. They might just look at it and be like, whatever, and throw it away. So branding is important to integrate everywhere. Your website receipts is one place where that should be set up. That's usually set up in wherever your templates are for your website. Etsy doesn't have that option specifically, but Etsy has their own branded receipt. So you're already set if you're using Etsy. And our last couple of questions here. Are your products priced to meet your desired hourly wage post-business expenses? This goes back to what I had said in one of the other videos about pricing your products accordingly and how a lot of makers are not doing that. They're just trying to make a dollar and they're not focusing on actually making sure that they're bringing in the dollars that they need. Everything about your business should be intentional, especially your pricing. You want to make sure that you are able to properly get the amount of money per hour that you deserve for the work that you're putting in. And this is going to be your take home, which means it's not all of the money you're making with your business. If you don't have revenue split, your business is going to suffer. A lot of people find themselves in that situation. It honestly breaks my heart when I see someone say, well, I have this printer and now I need to buy toner for it and it's going to cost me $400 and I don't have that kind of money. If you were doing proper revenue split with your business, you would have that money, because you would always be prioritizing making sure that your business was paid and you had the money you needed for taxes and for materials that your business needs to make more products. Pricing is really important. In that Make and Grow 0 to 100K Craft Business Blueprint, the video the audio that's on pricing, I dive into this and I explain to you the difference that it makes in your goals. And I use an example of a t-shirt where I'm like, if you're charging $20 for a t-shirt versus $35 for a t-shirt, and you want to buy a new printer, right? Let's say that your goal is to buy a direct to film printer or a white toner printer. If you're charging $20, you probably are only getting like $2 extra in profit outside of your taxes and material costs to have in your business bank account. But if you're charging 35, now you're getting 10. This is not the exact example that I use, but I'm using it for this. And that's a huge difference. $10 adds up a heck of a lot faster than $2 does. This is why pricing your products accordingly is really, really important. So it's a question on here. Is your products priced accordingly that after all of your expenses, you are actually getting the money that you want per hour? I show you how to map that out in that Make and Grow Masterclass. I have like a whole formula. It seems like it's really complex, but I break it down for you. It's designed to actually give you the most accurate pricing for your product based on the cost of materials, the maximum cost of materials that you might possibly spend, any additional fees that you have, taxes, and just ensures that you're actually taking home the money that you want to take home at the end of the day for the time that you're spending in your business. So the next question is, do your prices allow for at least 60% of your product costs to be saved into your business account for taxes and all operational expenses? I recommend that about 60% of your product cost does go towards business expenses. 60% of your product cost should cover the cost of materials at a maximum, like not necessarily what you did pay because you might have bought something on sale, you might have bought something from a cheaper supplier, but it should cover the maximum you might have to spend on materials again. And it should also cover all of your taxes and fees and operational expenses that you have to worry about. And there should be a little bit more added to that. Like your business bank account should be continuously growing. If it's not continuously growing with every sale, then you're not putting yourself in a position to be able to grow your business. So this is why pricing is important. So you want to make sure that about 60% of your product cost is in fact going to your business. If you're selling digitals, there's definitely different percentages that you work with because that is pretty much 100% profit. You still need to have money for your business because you still need stuff. You just don't need as much. So on average, I recommend that 40% of your product cost is what is actually going into your personal pocket. And a lot of you might be thinking, well, if I'm selling my tumbler for 20 bucks, that's what, not even $5? Yeah, that's the point. That's why you need to be charging $40 for your tumbler because that makes all the difference in the money you're putting into your pocket. This is why pricing is so important. All right, so you want to make sure you're looking at your pricing on your website and seeing what that looks like. And then, of course, the next question is making sure that you are prioritizing a revenue split for your business, which is all that I just talked about. You want to make sure that you are getting that money set aside. And then the last question is, do you create sales goals quarterly and craft a marketing plan around it? Now, this ties into just your website and business in general. You can't do anything without a plan. Having a good marketing plan is really important. It allows you to know what you're focusing on for your business and how you're trying to drive traffic to your website. So going into the new year in our new coaching group, I'm really focusing on helping everyone develop those quarterly marketing plans. I think we're actually going to do them more like every 6 or so weeks, just so it's not too much at once. But regardless, it's something that you do need to be prioritizing as a business to really help you thrive and move forward and drive that traffic to your website and drive those sales. So once you've completed the website audit portion, you're going to add up all of your points. For any one that wasn't relevant to you, you can just omit those points. Then you're going to come down and you're going to look at the score breakdown. You can also add some notes here if you think of things while you're doing your audit. And this really gives you a baseline for where you're at. A lot of people who I audit are typically in this category right here. They're off to a good start. There's just quite a bit of things that we need to work on. I give a recommendation for the order to work on them. When I work with you one-on-one, we focus on what your goals are specifically and how to make sure we're moving towards your goals and helping you grow your business while also making changes. Again, everything doesn't have to be done at once. You want to take your time. You don't want to rush it. You really want to just put in the work so that your business can actually grow. If you even focus 2 hours a week at improving certain areas of your business after doing this audit, you will find that it will accumulate and you will make progress over the course of a couple of months. It's just like if you're dieting. You're not trying to lose 50 pounds in a week. I'm sure that we all would love that, those of us who want that. But you're doing little by little, and that 2 pounds a week adds up. You want to look at your business the same way. That 2 hours a week, it really does add up if you are consistent with it and making the changes that you need to for your business. So with the score breakdown, it's just, these little blurbs are just saying like, this is where you're at. If you want to do better, here's what you need to focus on. If you are happy with where you're at, then more power to you. But now you understand what you're looking for, and you can come and revisit this audit and do it again. You should want to revisit this every 3 to 6 months so you can kind of see how your business is moving and growing and the progress that you're making. It will definitely help you keep that objective view about your business and make sure that you're being strategic with the choices you're making for your business, which will then in turn allow you to be more profitable. I hope you guys enjoy this craft audit, and I hope that it helps you really have a good look at your business and help you improve in the areas you need to improve.